If you like dark, intense music drenched in atmosphere, you've come to the right place. It's a big part of what we do here after all. But if you also happen to be familiar with modes and have an interest in music theory, putting Lydian and dark in the same video is probably a little confusing. After all, Lydian is often considered to be the brightest of all modes. So let me explain. Hi, my name is not important. I want to start out by saying that this video will not really be full of mosquitoes, but it will. They always are. I want to start out by saying that this video will not really go into great detail about what modes are, and if you're interested in that topic, I'll link some videos in the description that better explain that. Instead, I want to talk about how to harness the mood of a mode. In this case, Lydian, in a very simple and intentional way. So Lydian has always stood out to me as a little otherworldly and dreamlike, a little odd or off, not at all particularly bright. And in fact, the real reason it's considered first on the brightness scale for the major modes is related to the number of flattened or sharpened notes each mode contains, which sort of roughly corresponds to how dark each mode sounds, I guess. But like most things we perceive with our senses and conceptualize through our accumulated experience bank, it's highly subjective at the end of the day. But anyway, to illustrate this brightness scale, let's list all of the modes of the major scale so you can see for yourself. As we can see here, Lydian is the only mode with a raised note in relation to Ionian, or what we sometimes commonly call the major scale. Lydian is also a major mode, meaning it has a major third rather than a minor third, so its tonic chord is going to be a major chord. But despite all of this, I don't hear it as bright. Like I mentioned already, I often hear Lydian as a little dreamlike, a little otherworldly, not perfectly safe, maybe? A little off. And the reason for this is most likely the star of the mode, the tritone, the sharp 4. A very dissonant interval that really sets Lydian apart from the other major modes. So, as we already saw, the only difference between Lydian and Ionian is the sharp 4. But it makes all the difference for the sound. I'm used to tritones in metal, but a tritone with a major third is something else. It throws me off. And since our goal today is to talk about Lydian in the context of dark music, let's mention that natural 7th as well. Since it's just a half step away from the tonic, it tends to feel unstable and unresolved, adding even more potential for tension to our weird dreamlike soundscape. So the way my mind works is, what happens if we take all of these Lydian intervals, these Lydian notes, and just turn them all into one weird chord? In other words, essentially, what happens if we mine the crap out of the Lydian mode to see what kind of weird, tense chord we can craft? Sorry, if you didn't catch that, my kids have been really into the Minecraft movie lately. So yeah, let's just caveman this thing and just make a chord out of all these key Lydian intervals. I'm thinking something like this. I think that sounds pretty cool. Odd and a little uncomfortable, but still interesting and fresh. With some repetition, I think it could work well to develop a mood. Because remember, repetition legitimizes. And the thing about exploring the distinct sound of a mode in this way, with intention, is that I could never just come up with something like this out of the blue. It's just not how I improvise. It's too minimalistic in a way, but at the same time, also just too weird. And there's no fifth. But since I have a clear idea of what Lydian represents to me already, I can apply the Lydian mood, not mode, to a part before I even have the part written. So let's say I want to write an intro, and I know I want to develop a specific mood right away, and I want to focus on sound design and textural elements in my intro, atmosphere. Okay, so I have my idea, and I know I want to write something weird and unsettling, but with some kind of strange hope to it. I know Lydian is the perfect tool for that job, so I need to really focus on the intervals that make it sound like Lydian, which we know now is the major third, the sharp 4, and the natural 7th. And we've also decided that a key part of this is going to be sound design and texture, which means that it's important to resist the urge to overplay and instead leave a lot of space. That means that each note has to carry a lot of information emotion in order to still convey that distinct feeling we've been going on about so much, which makes our weird chord kind of perfect. All right, let's see how it sounds in its proper context. And I should say I've added some support to emphasize that root note and some quick production elements to help with that atmosphere we're trying to build here. It's still the same 4 notes though. I think it works pretty well to set the mood for something bigger and better to come. It has a distinct feeling to it. It's not bright, but it's not dark like Phrygian would be. It's more odd and unsettled. At least that's how I hear it, and I think it could go either way from there too. Turn darker or turn brighter, depending on how you want to develop the song. I want to end this video by addressing the people who think there's too much talking and just not enough playing in my videos, because I often, almost always, get people who complain that I talk too much versus, actually play music. After all, my main pursuit in life has been philosophy. So yeah, I know I'm a bit of an odd duck in the YouTube music space, and my approach to composing is sometimes a bit cerebral. The irony here though is that to me, music is emotion, and the theoretical concepts surrounding music theory, are only valuable insofar as they help with producing a specific end result. The end result in this case being a piece of music capable of conveying a certain emotion in people who are receptive to it. It's a bit like when you make a movie and use lighting and camera angles to convey a mood in the scene. If you know those techniques, you have a better chance of achieving what you set out to do. If you want to film a tense scene, you set up your cameras accordingly. And to do that, it helps to know what angles represent accordingly in that context. That's how I see modes, as efficient tools when it comes to producing predictable and reliable outcomes. And in order to share all of that, something that has been very helpful for me, I have to, talk a lot sometimes. Because the idea here is that once you have a vault of theoretical concepts, or modes in this particular case, that represent certain emotions, you always have a place to draw from. You don't even really have to look. But hey, maybe I'm alone in thinking that way. But then again, maybe I'm not. Either way, thank you so much for watching and have a great day wherever you are in the world, and please take care. Bye-bye.